Hey everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to the finale of Chaos Child. Yes, I'm going to be wrapping up the game today. It feels like it is coming to its conclusion. So we discovered an underground bunker area with the possible cure to the Chaos Child syndrome. So hopefully, after working so hard, we'll be able to get our happy ending. We can get our friends out of their comas. All the patients can be cured. My big question is, though, will Serika be able to have that happy ending as well? Because they were dropping little hints about it. You know, she's very convinced that Takeru is the killer, of course, because that's what everybody's led to believe. But I feel like the truth is going to be revealed if she gets her memories back, or if someone tells her what's going on. Will she be able to handle that? Will she be able to live with everybody in that happy world? I guess we'll just have to see. Let's go ahead and finish things off. I'm very excited to see if this game can stick the landing and we can have a satisfying conclusion. So let's get back into it. I wait about a half hour before Kunosato-san finally pulls an image up on the screen. Just like Miyashiro said, it's symmetrical. Different people might see it differently, but I can't imagine anybody describing it as anything other than elaborate scribbles.
こんなもので症候群を治すことができるんですか？できるかどうか、やってみればわかることだ。
問題はその手段ですね。
ああ、佐久間のように症候群者の研究を続けようとしているグループが残っているからな。
このまま画像を流そうとしても邪魔されますね、多分。
妨害をかいくぐって、なるべく多くの人間に同時にこれを見せないといけないか。偽装が必要だな。
Kunosato-san sinks back into her chair, and then she starts typing again at an unbelievable speed.
同時に見せるって症候群の人たちに？
Miyashiro nods.
もちろん全員は無理だろうけど、可能な限り多くの人に見てもらう必要があるんだ。
どうして？
Well, it would be easy to do at the school. You could have like a school assembly and just like flash it on the screen for them all to see.
そうしないと残った症候群者の妄想シンクロに引きずられて元に戻ってしまう恐れがあるんだよ。自分たちは普通の人と何も変わらないっていう妄想にね。
I remember my conversation with Kunosato-san. She told me that they're having a dream that showed them what they want to see.
急ごしらえだが、これでいいだろう。
I can see a strange image that looks like white static on the screen. I keep staring at it, but I can't see the image from before.
これは？
Miyashiro seems to be as confused as I am. Kunosato-san takes something out of her pocket and points it at the monitor. It makes a cute little noise. Is this a digital camera?
こんなものか。ま、使えるだろう。
She checks the LCD screen on the back and offers it to me. She looks slightly dissatisfied. And what's on the screen is... It's a slightly distorted version of the same image I just saw. How? It's just a picture of white static.
そうか。シャッタースピード。
ああ。ノイズの中にフレーム単位で画像を混ぜた。シャッターの速度を1秒に設定すると、こう映る。これなら、目では認識できないが、意識には届くだろう。案外、使い勝手がいいかもしれないな。
ですね。例の映像を見逃し症候群者がいても、別の映像に簡単に仕込めますし、久野里さん、映像編集もできるんですね。
私が何のページを管理していると思ってるんだ。
Miyashiro smiles as if to say good point.
例の映像って？こいつの犯行声明だ。
His confession.
は？
His confession?
時間を予告し、本物だと信じさせる証拠をアップし、その上で犯行声明を予告通りにネット配信する。映像の前後や途中にこのノイズを仕込んだ上でな。少なくとも碧峰学園に所属している将校軍者は食いつくだろう。それ以外の施設に所属している者や保護者が自宅で療養させている者も。
Kunosato-san looks at him mischievously.
あれだけの事件を起こした犯人の新たな犯行声明だ。大半は飛びつくだろう。
So that's it. They're going to have it. I'm guessing she's going to put it on her... Is she going to put it on, like, the Shibuya news on her website and be like... Or maybe it'll be broadcast publicly? Like, maybe Shinjo will put it up and say, like, oh, it's a confession from the serial killer, so everybody's going to want to watch it.
ですね。
Miyashiro smiles back. Oh, so that's it. I finally realize.
もしかしてそれがあんたの目的なの？その新しい犯行声明とかっていうのを世に出したいから久里さんに協力してるってこと？世間の人たちは逮捕されたあんたが警察で惨めな思いをしてると思ってるでしょ？でも実際のあんたは平気な顔で外を歩き回ってる。みんなに向かって自分はお前らが思ってるような惨めな暮らしはしてないぞ、ざまあ見ろってアピールしたい。違う？
They can all suck it. I look at him with as much disgust as I can physically muster. He's a horrible killer. I know I'm right. Miyashiro laughs tiredly.
いくらなんでもそんなに意地は悪くないから。
いや、そうでもないぞ。以前の宮代ならやりかね。
久野里さんに言われたくないです。大体。
But just before he can finish his sentence,
なあ、人のものを取ってはいけませんって。
freaking knew Wakui's gonna show. Oh no, that means Shinjo. Please let Shinjo be okay. Please let him be okay. I knew he was gonna show up. Suddenly a voice comes from behind us, and Shinjo is keeping watch, which means something happened to him. If this is a good ending, he needs to survive. Miyashiro tenses in the direction of the voice. Kunosato-san stands up and glares like, I knew it wasn't going to be this easy. I'm the only one who is too off guard to react. I turn my head back over my shoulder. And I see a man standing there. I've seen him before.
なんで？
I'm waiting for him to be like, Shinjo was working with me the whole time.
ん？僕は碧峰学園の教師だよ。いて当然じゃないか。と、ストップだ、久野里くん。
Kunosato-san freezes her hand in her pocket.
上の彼に連絡しても無駄だよ。もうここには入れないし、出られない。君たちの意識をそう変えた。
No sense in talking to the guy. He must be talking about Shinjo. I changed everyone's mind so it will work that way. I get like did he create a delusion so we can't escape from here? There's more tension on Kunosato-san and Miyashiro's faces than I've ever seen from them before. The man laughs a little as he looks at them. And then I realize, this is the man from my visions, as well as the very same man from the photo Kunosato-san showed me. Wakui Shuichi.
何か用か。
おいおいおい、盗っ人たけだけしいとはよく言ったもんだ。勝手に人のデータを使っておいて。君、自分が正しいと思ったら周りが見えなくなるタイプだね。もう少し要領よくやったらどうだい？アメリカの研究所でもずいぶん嫌われてたそうじゃないか。
貴様！
ああ、怒らない怒らない。ちょっと小耳に挟んだだけだ。さて、とりあえずさ、みんな適当に座ってくれないかな。落ち着かないでしょ。
Something feels very wrong. Wakui isn't holding any kind of weapon. He's a thin, gentle-looking scientist kind of guy. He doesn't seem strong at all. If Miyashiro and Kunosato-san both leap on him at the same time, they should be able to hold him down. And I can help a little too. The three of us all attack at once. We should be able to get him, but the two of them are keeping their distance and acting cautious, like he's holding a gun or something. Well, would he still have his D sword? Because we saw in the when he was fighting, what's his oh my gosh, why am I forgetting her name? Kazuki, he had one. Like Sakuma had?
何も殺そうってわけじゃないんだから、そんなに警戒しなくても。特に宮代くん、僕は新聞部の顧問だよ。君とは随分仲良くやってきたと思うんだがな。
Wakui laughs as he talks. For some reason, he sounds like a con artist.
座ろう、尾上さん。
When Wakui hears that, he smiles for some reason. It's a nasty smile, like he's enjoying himself.
尾上さん。
Oh, is he gonna be like, hey, Onoe, do you know the truth about yourself? I wonder if I'm sure he would be the one to tell me, because they're not telling me the truth about what I've done, so he would probably be delighted to say that.
なんですか？あなた、私のことを何か知って。
やめるんだ。こいつの言う通りにしてくれ。頼む。頼む。
分かったわよ。
I sit down in a nearby chair. Kunosato-san sits too. She seems like she's trying to hold back her anger even more than usual. Wakui smiles in surprise as he looks at the monitor Kunosato-san has been working at.
なるほど。これで宮代くんと同じ脳波をね。いやー、よくできてる。惜しいな、久野里くん。君、委員会に戻ってくる気はないかい？
She was a member of the committee. Actually, that's probably not that shocking. She probably was, they probably had all sorts of like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, they had top of the line everything. I wonder if she knew she was working for the committee, if she knew what the committee was, or she just saw it as like maybe they had a lot of high-tech equipment and stuff, and they had like these top of the line facilities, and she's like, ooh, I want to work for that, then realized what they were doing, and she left, and that's why she hates gigalomaniacs? She just barely stops herself from getting out of her chair. Okay. Okay.
勝手に私の研究データを使って実験を行っていただけだろうが。
Her voice is shaking. She seems absolutely livid.
おかしいな。君も当初は乗り気だったと聞いてるよ。いいデータが取れたとか言って。そもそも脳に障害を負った子供が何人死のうと、それは科学の発展のための尊い犠牲じゃないか。君は喜ぶべきだったと思うけどね。
So we're finally starting to learn why she hates the committee and why she hates the gigalomaniacs so much.
黙れと言っているんだ。
She finally shoots up, her eyes wide with rage. But the next moment... Oh yeah, that was... Yep, he's got a D-sword.
久野里さん。
She suddenly slammed back into the wall. It's as if she was thrown by some invisible force. What was that? I suddenly feel a sharp pain in my temples. My hands shoot up to my head. It's the same pain I felt when I passed out after first coming here. My fingers tense up and my nails dig into my head.
久野里くん、いい加減認めたらどうだい？君がどんな手を使おうと委員会にダメージを与えることはできない。君はアメリカからデータを持ち出して姿を消しておきながら、ここに研究者として姿を現した。当然我々のことを探るつもりだったと思うけどね。だけどさ、魚釣りをするにしたって堂々と表を歩いてる僕に気づかないようじゃ話にならないよ。
As the pain blurs my vision, I hear the sound of grinding teeth. Kunosato-san is glaring at Wakui with an incredible fury.
いや、すまん。別にバカにしてるわけじゃないんだ。むしろ 高く評価してるんだよ。この画像だって実によくできてる。ぜひ症候群の皆さんに見せてあげてくれ。
え？
何？
ん？そんなに驚くことかい？ああ、そっか。君たちは僕が佐久間と同じようにギガロマニアックス研究を諦めていない方のグループだと考えてるわけか。なるほどね。それなら僕を敵視してもおかしくない。
Wakui keeps laughing. I wonder what's so funny.
違うのか。私には見えないが。貴様だってギガロマニアックスなのだろう。
Kunosato-san points to the empty space in front of his hand.
それとこれとは話が別だ。僕はあくまでも委員会に忠誠を誓った人間だよ。で、委員会の命令は6年前の事件のせいで渋谷に大量発生したイレギュラーをすべて掃除することだ。ほらな、君らとは利害が一致してるだろう。だから僕には君らの邪魔をする理由なんてどこにもないわけだ。
Have we cleared up our little misunderstanding? He says, laughing.
本当のことを言うとね、実は僕も離反した佐久間くんと同じように最初は期待したんだよ。宮代拓くん、君にね。この渋谷という街でカオスチャイルド症候群が発生したのもイレギュラーなら、症候群者の中から能力者が生まれたのもイレギュラーだ。ところがそんな出来損ないどもの中から本物らしいギガロマニアックスが現れたんだ。驚いたよ。だから佐久間くんとは別にね、僕も君のことをずっと観察していた。上層部の連中は懐疑的だったけどね、それを説得して渋谷の大掃除を待たせるのには苦労した。
Wakui seems to be enjoying this, but Miyashiro is glaring back at him fiercely. As for me, my headache is getting unbearably bad. Psychics, gigalomaniacs, Sakuma. Each time I hear a word, my head starts to throb. Something's getting stuck in my memories. Something's intertwining with my feelings.
ところがね、困ったことに君は自分から能力を放棄してしまった。
I doubt she'd be able to activate her Gigalomania powers because she's a normal girl. Because we're kind of screwed otherwise. Like, there's nobody that'd be able to fight him. Be great if Shinjo just showed up and just shot him. I hope he's okay.
その上、カオスチャイルド症候群からも帰還してしまったものだから、僕が上層部を説得してきた理由がなくなってしまったんだ。面目は丸つぶれだよ。おかげで随分と怒られてね、序列も下げられてしまった。僕みたいに資金もコネクションもない人間がここまで来るのは容易じゃなかったんだが、と愚痴をこぼしてる場合じゃなかったな。とにかく我々にとってはもうこの町やカオスチャイルド症候群には何の価値もないんだ。それどころか佐久間のような輩に妙な研究をされると非常に困る。だから君たちがその画像を使って症候群者を消してくれるというんなら。
That would make us very happy, Wakui says, spreading his arms wide.
ということで分かってくれたかな、宮代くん、久野里くん。
I wonder if they're like, this feels like a trap. It's like he wants us to release this image, but maybe there's a reason he wants to do it that he's not telling us.
だから二人ともそう怖い顔しないでほしいな。今は同じ目的を持った仲間じゃないか。改めて聞くけどさ、久野里くん、我々の研究を手伝う気はないかい？
断る。
There's no doubt in her voice. Her words are full of anger, but Wakui's as unmoved as ever.
不思議だな、理解に苦しむな。 どうして君くらい優秀な頭脳の持ち主が復讐なんかにとらわれてるんだろう。
Right?
も
Let's
っと
get
対
into
極
this,
的に見るこ
please.
とはできないかい？
Other than them taking her research.
研究者としてどんなことでもできる地位と権力、それに資金、それらを手に入れられるんだ。しかも私利私欲のためじゃない、より正しい次の世界を作るための。
聞こえなかったのか。断る。
はあ、なあ久野里くん、言っただろう。僕たちは今は仲間だって。特に君を殺すなって言命されてるんだよ。
The look in his eyes changes for a moment. I feel a shiver go down my spine and I take my hands off my aching head to grab the sides of the chair I'm sitting in. It felt like if I didn't, I would fall over.
くだらない脅しだ。
Kunosato-san, however, is unmoved. Her voice is strong. Just listening to it makes it feel like the terror is fading away.
何でもできる地位、権力、バカバカしい。たとえそれがどれほどのものであろうと、誰かにあてがわれた力などうんざりだ。そんなもの一セントの価値もない。そういった力というのは自らの手で掴んでいくからこそ価値がある。たとえ進むべき道に迷ったとしても、そこに解があると信じて進むのが人間というものだ。
Oh, maybe that seems to be maybe a reason why she doesn't like Iglomaniacs, is it was like a power given to them by, outside of their control. They were just given these powers through no work of their own. I don't know, maybe there's something there about that where she sees it almost like they were given powers they don't deserve. And she doesn't see Giglomaniacs as human because of that. The grin vanishes from his face. There's a wickedness in his voice that even I can sense.
それは元から君の考えかい？それとも誰かに影響されたのかい？
さあな。
I'm not completely sure, but it feels like she ever so slightly looked at Miyashiro.
残念だよ。我々を出し抜けると勘違いしながら、用意された舞台の上でこれからも踊り続けるといい。
Huh? Suddenly, Kunosato-san disappears without a sound. How? She was just here. I quickly look around, but she's nowhere to be seen.
お前。
動かないでくれ、宮代くん。僕はね、少し機嫌が悪くなっちゃったんだ。動けば切るよ。
I'm glad he's getting more of a chance to be a villain, because we only saw it a little bit. He just seemed like almost like he was the lapdog of the committee. Here he still is being controlled by the committee. He's basically going and doing their bidding, but he feels a little bit more threatening this time.
ああ、そうだった。今の君には見えてすらいないんだったね。
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be able to see the sword because he's not a Chaos Child Syndrome patient anymore. But Serika can see it. Interesting. So maybe she will be able to use her sword. Okay. So she can definitely see it. There's something creepy wrapped around Wakui's hand. It's like a huge pair of scissors. No, it's more like a creature with thorn-covered tentacles bearing its fangs at us. And it appears from nowhere, the same way that Kunosato-san vanished.
まったく。宮代くんもおかしいよな。自分から力を捨ててしまうなんて。君のことは殺してもいいと言われてるんだ。それを踏まえてよーく聞いてくれよ。
Miyashiro seems to be judging his distance from Wakui. His legs are shaking a little, but he doesn't take a single step back. I feel like I'm going crazy from the headache and all the strange things going on.
君をずっと観察していたと言っただろう？実は もう一つ興味深い実験ができると思っていたからなんだ。都市伝説好きの君なら聞いたことはないかな。ワンワールドオーダー。
世界統一政府。
そう。僕はね、君たちを観察していて、渋谷がその実験場になりうるんじゃないかと思いついたんだ。カオスチャイルド症候群の症状とされている老人化現象は脳内活動の副産物に過ぎなくてね。より注目すべき点は、彼らがそのことに気づかないということなんだよ。地震の際、例の光を受けた連中は激しいストレスから精神を守るために逃避行動に出た。現実とは異なる別の現実を生き始めた彼らは、妄想シンクロによって自分たちに都合のいい渋谷を作り上げたんだ。そしてそれはそのまま僕の考えるワンワールドオーダーの縮図だった。自分の身に降りかかっている老人化現象という不幸に気づこうともせず、自分は幸せなんだと錯覚し続ける善良な愚民たち。まさに理想的な非支配者階級の姿じゃないか。そこで僕はある実験を提案した。ワンワールドオーダーの箱庭実験さ。宮代くんに関しては懐疑的だった委員会もそれには大いに興味を示してきたよ。
You gotta love how the villains always have to monologue and be like, let me tell you my grand plan before I kill you.
箱庭実験。
ワンワールドオーダーにおける非支配者階級はどこまで善良な愚民のままでいられるのか。渋谷という箱庭でちょっとしたシミュレーションができると考えたんだ。と言ってもまあそんなに難しい話じゃない。要するに症候群者に対する新たなストレステストをしようと思ったわけ。彼らが妄想シンクロで作り上げた平穏な渋谷の生活に対してね、その平穏をかき乱すような事件を少しずつ起こしていく。そしてその事件がどのレベルまで達した時に彼らのストレス係数は限界になるのか。そして限界に達した症候群者たちは平穏を取り戻そうと再び新たな妄想シンクロを行うか否か。
So it's making it seem like Sakuma was the one, or not, sorry, Sakuma, that Wakui is the one who it controlled all this. He was the big bad behind, like he was the one who planned this out. But then we saw like Sakuma was the one who was planning with Serika to have all this done. Was Sakuma taking orders from Wakui? I don't know, because Wakui doesn't seem like he's like high up in the committee hierarchy. It just seems like he's kind of, what do they call him? Like he was an assassin or something? So did Serika, did she actually commit the murders, or was this all I don't know. I don't know.
これをワンワールドオーダーの場合に当てはめるとこういうことになる。非支配者階級は支配者階級による弾圧や搾取といったストレスにどれだけ耐えられるのか、どれだけ善良な愚民のままでいられるのか。
This feels very poignant. This feels very topical. Like, man, this game came out, what, 2015? This feels very relevant about, like, how much stress by the ruling class, theft, oppression, exploitation can the ruling class cause to, like, the serfs, basically, like the lower class, before they either break or rebel.
逆にどこまでストレスをかけると彼らは限界
Literally
に達して
says
しまう
that. Will they rebel
そ
against
して
the ruling
限
class,
界に
or will
達
they?
した彼らは
Okay.
自分たちの幸福を取り戻そうと支配者階級に対して反乱を企てるか否か。とまあ僕はそんな実験をしようとしてたのさ。
Well, obviously, we're gonna take back our happiness.
ところがいざ実験を始めようとして
Oh,
驚いたね。
so, okay.
すでに僕の出番はなかった。
So that answers that
ニュージェ
question.
ネの狂気の再来という猟奇殺人事件が発生し渋谷は大騒ぎになった。
He's like, that was already done for me. Thanks, Sakuma. Thanks. He's at some point, he's definitely gonna point out that Onoe was helping out with this, and she has no idea. Like, I'm just waiting for him to tell her the truth.
宮代くんのお友達が次々と起こしてくれた事件は僕が計画していたものとはかなり違う形だったけど、それはそれで実に有意義だった。
Huh? Miyashiro's friend did the murders? What is he talking about? Miyashiro's the killer, right? And you know, he's just like Miyashiro also knows at some point he's gonna blab, and he's trying so hard to be like, please don't tell her. He tried so hard to keep Serika from learning all this. I can see Miyashiro's legs have stopped shaking. He stands tall even in the face of that terrifying weapon. For a moment, I'm entranced by the sight.
将校軍者たちは自分たちよりさらに惨めな人間、無残な姿で殺されたり殺人犯として追い立てられたり、そういう人間の姿を見て興奮し大喜びしていた。平穏な渋谷の生活がこれほどかき乱されているのにもかかわらずだよ、彼らの妄想シンクロにはほころび一つ発生しなかったんだ。なるほどと思ったよ。これはワンワールドオーダーの理論とも一致する。非支配者階級に反乱を起こすような勇気を持たせないためには、彼らより仮想に見える人間を餌として与えればいい。
Oh my gosh, this does feel so topical.
そうすれば彼らは自分たちが支配されていることにすら気づかないまま仮想階級をいたぶり、時にそれを正義だと声高に叫んで怒り、自己満足に浸る。喜ぶ、楽しむ。
I was thinking he was going to say something like you just keep them distracted. You know, it's the whole, gosh, there's terms for it where it's basically the circus. It's just like you just give people things to distract them with and they won't even notice what's happening.
そうしておけば、本当の支配者階級は安泰だ。いやはやまったく、愚民っていうのは御しやすい。とまあそんな風にね、僕はなかなかの成果を委員会に示すことができていたんだよ。なのにさ。
Wakui walks toward me with a terrifying look on his face. I try to take a step back without thinking, but Miyashiro suddenly grabs me by the arm.
僕から離れるな。今だけでいい。言うことを聞いてくれ。
No, I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
宮代くん、君がすべてを台無しにしてしまった。ギガロマニアックスの件も、ワンワールドオーダーの箱庭実験も。さっきも言ったけどね、君を早々に処分しなかったことを僕はひどく責められた。まさかあんなに序列を下げられるとはね。君のせいで僕は次の世界に残れないかもしれないんだよ、宮代くん。
When I see the weapon in Wakui's hand for the first time, I realize I could actually die.
もしかして殺されるの？本当に殺されるの？
Death never actually seemed real to me. I've never even thought about it before. But now it's right in front of me. The huge blades in Wakui's hand and the eerie light they give off are pulling me deeper and deeper into the terror.
納得できる答えを僕に与えてくれないか。どうして君は現実に戻ることを選んでしまったんだい？答えないのか。それなら。
Wakui looks at me.
今からでも引き戻してあげようか。
The ends of his blade point at me. Like the jaws of a shark, they open up to devour me. and a white light sparks between them as they get closer. There's a loud throbbing noise in my head. She's going to, right? Because it's like because she's having the memories back. So maybe it's like when they get the headaches when, like Miyashiro was getting. Maybe she'll unlock her Gigglomaniac powers again. My whole field of vision suddenly shifts. I put my hand to the wall to try and steady myself, but it's not the wall, it's the floor. I fell to the ground. I hold my head. The pain is so bad I can't feel anything else. So he's talking about Serika, I guess. Like, why did you I don't know if he's talking to Miyashiro or if he's talking to Serika about, like, why did you get pulled into reality? I would assume also Miyashiro because of the Chaos Child Syndrome. He broke out of it, which means he broke out of the delusion the other people suffer with. But with me, it's like, although I guess she's kind of living a delusional world because she's living as a normal person, which wasn't what she was normally born, like what she was originally born for. One vision after another starts flowing inside my head. It feels like my head's being ripped open, like my memories are being forced to come back. What is this? So I'm guessing this is Wakui. He's doing this. He wants to pull me into the delusion of my previous life. Where is this? Who is this? I know the answers to all these questions. I know that can't be true. Wait, it must be true. I'm sure I've seen them before. No, I've never seen them before in my life. I clutch my head in my hands fraught with confusion. I curl up into a ball and moan. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if these visions are real or not. I don't know anything.
Yamero!
I see Miyashiro try to stand between me and Wakui only to get slammed backward. He smashes into the floor hard.
邪魔しないでもらえるかな。君には何もできないんだから。
Is he trying to, like, awaken Serika to make her basically work with him again?
今頃後悔しても遅いよ。ギガロマニアックスの力を放棄しなければ僕を殺せたかもしれないのに。
Miyashiro? Why? Why is he trying to save me?
おのえ、大丈夫か?
For a moment I can't speak, but I managed to summon the strength to look at him and nod. When I heard him call me Onoe, it felt like it overlapped with a memory that made me want to cry.
これは...
Wakui's frowning at Miyashiro as he holds the huge blade in his hand.
予想以上に硬いな、彼女は。これだけのことをできる力があったっていうのに、君はどうして？
それが僕があいつにできる唯一の償いだから。
At some points, I forgot about the pain in my head. I can't take my eyes off Miyashiro.
僕たちは一緒にいたら何も変わることができない。離れたからこそ僕もあいつももう間違えない。
It's sad. It does kind of sound like a toxic relationship. It's like them being together, she just brings out the worst in him, and maybe he kind of brings out the worst in her. It's just like, it's a thing where it's like, we care about each other, but we need to be apart in order to, you know, like, progress, and not be doing the things that we're doing.
そうじゃないとまた繰り返してしまう。
繰り返せばいいじゃないか。それのどこが悪い？
Miyashiro's crawling on the ground, but he looks up at his enemy with eyes that would never give in to anyone.
男が
Oh,
好きな子にすがりついて生きてくなんて
I'm just so happy. You know what?
できるわけないだろ。
I'm so happy they didn't go with the route of having Kurusu and Talker. I was so worried about that when she had her route. I was like, please don't make it weird with them. Like, keep them as adoptive brother and sister. The game's not over. It could go that, but I'm glad that it's cute that he said that to the girl he loves. It doesn't even have to be a romantic love, you know, it could be like a friendship kind of love. But yes, I'm really glad that they didn't have him confess his love to like Kurusu. I was afraid of that happening.
それが理由かい。
Even as Wakui looks at him with a wry smile, Miyashiro doesn't flinch. There's no sign of shame in his eyes.
そんな理由で悪いか。神様気取りのあんたたちには人の気持ちが理解できないだけだろ。なら試してみろよ。
試す？
僕のことなんて殺そうと思えばいつでも殺せるんだろ。だったらもう少し僕を試してみたらどうだ。あんたの言うことが正しいんならいつか僕は戻ってしまうだろう。でも僕が正しければ戻ることは絶対にない。それを試してみたらどうだ。
Miyashiro stands up slowly, without anyone's help.
そんな口車に僕が乗るとでも？
乗るさ。だってあんたは序列とやらを元に戻したいんだろう。次の世界で生き残るためにみっともなく委員会にしがみついて。だったらあんたを失墜させた僕という本当のイレギュラーを観測し続ければいい。もしも僕がギガロマニアックスに戻ってしまったらあんたにいくらでも協力してやる。あんたの成果にすればいい。
自分をかけて僕とゲームをしようっていうのかい？
ああ。元からこれはクソったれなゲームだったんだからな。もちろん僕は負ける気なんてない。最後の1秒まであがいてやる。
宮代くん、君って面白いね。
All of a sudden, Wakui vanishes. Oh, leaving behind only the eerie light of his blade seared into our eyes. He's just gonna let us go? He's just gonna be like, all right, I'll stand back and see what happens.
そのゲーム、受けて立つことにしよう。それじゃ、今からスタートだ。宮代くん。
It'd be cool if I could make some choices here, if I could have some input right at the end, because it's a game after all, right? I hear a voice from somewhere. It feels like it's resounding directly inside my head. So he's probably going to try and activate the Chaos Child Syndrome again, maybe using this kind of kaleidoscope thing that we see, you know, every time I boot up the game, this shows at the very beginning. And then everything goes quiet.
おい、宮代。
Suddenly, Kunosato-san's back just as quickly as she disappeared. It's like she never left.
大丈夫ですか?
Are we still from Serika's point of view, or are we Miyashiro right now? Yeah, is all she says. She's biting her lip, probably frustrated at how much stronger her opponent was.
涌井はどうした?
とりあえず口車に乗ってくれました。
What about Shinjo?
しばらくは大丈夫だと思います。それより
Miyashiro points to the PC, and Kunosato-san leaps toward it. And he probably took that picture, took the information.
例の画像は無事だが。
Oh.
くそ。やられた。委員会に関するデータが。
Nope. Yay, my boy's safe.
おい、大丈夫か？
ええ。
いきなり中に入れなくなった。一体何があったんだ？
The sound of fingers on a keyboard echo off the walls. Kunosato-san grimaces.
重要なハードディスクだけ物理的に破壊していった。これでは復旧もできない。涌井め。
涌井がいたのか。
Miyashiro nods.
詳しいことは後で話します。先に目的を済ませましょう。久野里さん、さっきのデジカメ、動画も撮れますよね。
お前、ここで犯行声明の映像を撮る気か。
はい。涌井は、委員会はもうここには現れません。一刻も早く、カオスチャイルド症候群に関することは終わりにしたいんです。
Kunosato-san bites her lip once more and lets out a little sigh.
新庄さん、こいつの言う通りにしてやろう。脳内スキャン装置を運び出す手はずを整えてくれ。あれを調べれば手がかりくらいは残っているかもしれない。
ああ。
The detective seems a little dissatisfied, but he must have been used to being talked to like that because he goes to the other room. Miyashiro's looking at me. I try to tell him about all the fragments of memories I've seen, but just as I open my mouth, he motions for me to stop.
尾上さん。
何？
案内、ありがとう。怖い目に遭わせちゃってごめん。もう大丈夫だから。
そんなこと。
I don't care about that, but these memories...
ここからは、僕たちの仕事だ。だから。
Miyashiro looks towards the exit. You can go, he seems to say. No, that's not what he's really saying. Go home, his eyes tell me. I have to ask. I have to find out for sure. But my lips won't move. The words won't come out. Why? Why am I am surprised at Wakui. I thought that he was going to blab. I thought he was going to be like, oh, Serika seems to be acting different. I wonder if maybe you did something to her and she lost her memories, and he was going to tell her about all the stuff that she had done. Why am I...
宮代、やるぞ。
Maybe he just didn't see the point of it.
はい。
Miyashiro turns around and begins to ignore me. He follows Kunosato-san's instructions and puts up a chair against the wall.
何を喋ったらより注目を集めますかね。
知るか。お前が起こしたことになっている事件だろ。それらしいことを言っておけ。
Supposedly. My headache almost went away when Wakui disappeared, but it's starting to get a little stronger once again. My head is throbbing with pain, and for some reason the pain's eating into my heart.
なら、この世界を恨んだり、憎んだりしてみましょうか。
妥当なところだな。それで行こう。
The two of them have completely stopped paying any attention to me. I stagger toward the exit as if trying to escape from the headache. I turn back before I go up the stairs, but no one's looking at me. Miyashiro isn't looking at me either. I leave the basement without saying a word.
僕がこの事件を起こしたのは僕のせいではありません。この社会そのものが害悪に満ちているからです。
I can hear him speaking into the camera below. I'm getting further and further away. I'm staggering constantly like I'm in a waking dream. But I've succeeded in my goal. Kurusu-san will wake up now, and then I'll be able to ask her about me. Huh? Me? Why am I going to ask her about myself again? Everything feels so hazy. I can't remember. Well, it doesn't matter. I should just do what Miyashiro said and go back home. My head hurts. I'm probably just not feeling well. I need to go home and rest.
私の家ってどこだっけ？ああ、そっか。横浜だよ。
Why I came here, what happened when I did, and even how I feel right now. I don't know any of it anymore. I'm walking through town. It's probably the slowest I've ever walked in my life. As the sun starts to set on the city, I keep having trouble walking forward, but I can't stop. I realize I'm not supposed to be here, so I force myself to keep going. For some reason, once I got away from Yashiro, my headache stopped. It's as if his very existence itself was the cause of it. So maybe it is like he said. He was like, the two of us can't be together because otherwise this whole cycle is going to start again. So unfortunately, it seems like they are both, you know, he wanted her to be a normal girl, so maybe she will just choose to be like, okay, I will live my life away from everybody. But at the same time, she wants to talk to Kurusu, so...
あ、そうか。今日って。
I look at all the happy girls and remember February 14th, Valentine's Day, the day when girls tell boys they like them.
私、あんたみたいなやつ、大嫌い。
Okay, we're gonna have possibly a romance between the two of them at the end. He did say he loved her, but like I said, it's not, doesn't have to be a romantic love. It could be like a friendship love. I wasn't really thinking about it when I said that. It's not often you tell someone to their face you don't like them. The way to say what I'd like to say will occur to me after you've gone. Is that a line from a movie? Who did I go see it with? I laugh even though I think it's stupid. The current me is happy now. I bet the old me was a total jerk who wasn't happy at all. But I've forgotten all about it now. I've forgotten all about that, and I can be happy. That's right, I'm happy now. That's why I have to laugh.
ねえ、セリカ。あなたはどこへ行く気なの？
I ask myself that, but I don't answer. I just keep walking. I'm walking in a crowd full of people. As I walk, I stop being able to figure out how much of the world is real. All these nightmarish things that just happened. All these people are just casually walking around, blissfully unaware of all of it. Which world is real? It has to be this one. The big TVs are playing wonderful music, and there's a delicious smell coming from the crepe stand. This is the right world. The fun world. It has to be this one. But I know that this one's fake, and yet I pretend I don't. I just keep smiling and walking. I'm a liar. Someone who's honest with themselves, like maybe a kid or something, might have gone back to that basement. Because this town, this place, it should be so much fun, but it feels so awful. I can't find a place here where I belong. But I can't go back to that basement either. Because I'm not a kid anymore. Not anymore. I'm a grown-up who lies to herself. Suddenly a scene from that nightmare comes back to my mind. The fragments of memories I saw there. They're scattered about like pieces of a puzzle, and they're eating away at me. And beyond them, I remember a tiny little feeling.
これ、どうにかしてよ。ねえ。
There's probably no way to get it back. I finally realize that no matter who I ask, that's the only thing they'll never tell me. The memories and that feeling keep spinning around inside of me. I want to go back there, but I can't. I keep walking with nowhere to go. And eventually, I find myself in front of a building near the station. Ah, is that the Q building? It's been 30 minutes since the sunset. Or is it... Yeah, that's the Q
な
building.
んだっけ。光を。
That's it, Hikariwo. I look up at the tall building. I can't tell how many floors it has, because I thought this is where the big, like, reveal was going to happen, was this building, because they kept bringing this back, so maybe we'll still get something from it. Oh, I wonder if she's going to go in the, that, like, auditorium where that whole showdown with, why can I never remember the goddamn doctor's name? It starts with an S. I know that it's been, like, multiple times it's been mentioned. I just cannot for the life of me. I can remember everybody's name in this except for him. But yeah, I wonder if she's gonna, like, that's gonna be the big memory. She sees the white lights of, like, the stage lights, and then it all comes back to her. I can't remember ever going in there, but my body goes inside without hesitation. Sakuma, I think that's his name. I step out of the elevator and see a pretty theater. Yep, I can see a poster for a musical on the wall. There's a picture on it that I've seen somewhere before. The soiree is just about to start. I stand in line to buy a ticket. Luckily, there's a seat open near the front of the house. I buy my ticket and bury myself in the waves of people going into the theater.
ここ確か
What? Something strange. I thought I'd never been here before, but it feels familiar. I've come here before. I walk up the stairs through the crowd and open the door to the theater. And when I step inside, I hear a sound like something bursting within me. Something snaps inside my head. I walk toward my seat. I slowly weave my way through the other audience members, going down the steps of the corridor. The curtain is lowered, and on it is a projection with the name of the musical and an illustration. But what I'm seeing is an empty theater, like a sky with no clouds, an empty stage lit up by bright lights. I sit in my seat, and after a while the buzzer rings and the curtain comes up. The orchestra plays a low sound that echoes in the pit of my stomach, and the cast comes up on stage. But my mind is still seeing the same thing. It's still perceiving an empty stage.
ここで私は
On stage, the actors start to act out rowing a boat. They're creating a delusional world on stage filled with things that don't exist in the real one. But I'm seeing a different world. It's the world I lived in before. The musical keeps going, but the empty stage that only I perceive doesn't change. My memories throb into ache. My emotions feel like they're about to overflow. I've done something here with someone. The sorrow I felt when I talked with them is filling my heart. The pain I felt in my throat when I screamed at them is coming back to me. It hurts to breathe. I'm gasping for air like I'm underwater. The actors sing, their voices riding on the powerful music. It's a song the heroes sing to inspire themselves and the people before they go off to fight the revolution. The people of this delusional world all line up and yell, "Come along and join us." And then it happens. I see someone on the empty stage. They're holding something up high in their hands. I can see it's a sword gleaming with a dull shine. It's a tool for battle.
それが僕があいつにできる唯一の償いだから。僕たちは一緒にいたら何も変わることができない。離れたからこそ僕もあいつももう間違えない。男が好きな子にすがりついて生きてくなんてできるわけないだろ。
I'm crying. These are the same tears I felt on my cheek when I woke up this morning. I quickly wipe them away with the back of my hand, but they don't stop. I keep wiping them away, but they won't stop coming. It's no good. They won't stop. I can't stop them. I just imagine the person next to her is like, "Oh, this is awkward. This isn't even a sad play." I bury my face in my hands.
後悔なんてしないよ。僕は自分のしたことに悔いはない。満足してるんだ。
このクズ。続きずっと隣にいたって誰？
親友だよ。
親友なんていたんだね。あんなひどい殺人を犯すようなあんたにも。あんたの親友って同じように症候群者だったの？今何をしてるの？
いや、普通の人だった。もう亡くなったよ。 彼女はこの世界のどこにもいない。
The play ends and the audience gives a standing ovation. The actors stand on the stage and bow. Alone, I wipe away my tears. I sit there for a long time, unable to get up. No one else can see the blurry world that I perceive. I look up to stop the tears from falling, and she's gonna see the light, I guess. Yep. And the lights on the stage shine down on me like a spotlight. Wait, what? Is that it? Oh my gosh, that's the end. Oh, please tell me we're gonna get something at the end of this, so to see, like, did everybody wake up from their comas? What happens to Serika after? Did she end up reuniting with them? I like that, though. That was good, but I want to see more. I gotta see, like, the after part, like, what happened to everybody. Okay, here we go. October 2016. 8 months later.
次の検査は来週の同じ時間になりますので、お大事に。
はい。
Hey,
ありがとう
Senri.
ございました。
That's right. I forgot about Senri because in this world, No exists the way that we know her as, not as Senri. Okay, as she bows to the nurse who she's come to know quite well, Minamisawa Senri, the girl who was once Kurusu no, checks the time. It's almost noon. The exams are getting shorter and shorter. They hadn't even given her any drugs today. That probably means she's getting better. Okay, oh wait, I'm so confused. Because we saw her as No, the one that, like, but now she's, okay, but they're calling her Big Sis, so they've accepted her basically as their new big sister, which means in this one, No doesn't exist anymore, it's just Senri, okay. Yamazoe Uki, whose exam was evidently as short as hers, comes down from the psychiatric ward on the 5th floor. When she sees Senri, she runs over to her.
姉さんも今日は終わり？こーら、病院内は走らない。はい、ごめんなさい。
Senri feels herself smile as she watches her little sister walk fast, but not to run, towards the front desk. Her little sister struggled with her physical therapy before, but now she can walk and run like a normal girl. She wants to be a nurse, just like Senri. A job Senri knows would be perfect for her. So Senri's a nurse? What? Or are they saying they both want to be nurses?
思ったより早かったから、みんなをランチに誘ってみる？来てくれると思うわ。
Uki suddenly seems to remember something and stops.
忘れ物？その。
Uki's choosing her words carefully as she looks at the elevator that just came down.
いいの？姉さん。
Senri puts her hand on her little sister's head.
ちゃんと挨拶は済ませたでしょ？それでもう十分。それに、最近は警備が厳重で誰も近寄れないわ。でも、だからいいのよ、ウキ。そうしちゃダメなんだから。ね。
After a second, her little sister nods and Senri smiles in return. So obviously they're good. They got out of their coma. That's great. Everybody here is good.
お疲れ様です。
When she contacted them on her phone, Senri found out that Aramura Hinai and Kazuki Hana both had been waiting for her call all morning. The four of them then met in front of Shibuya Station and started walking together. It's been a long time since the four of them have gone through the city together like this. They see each other at the hospital quite often, but their exams and physical therapy are all at different times, which makes it difficult to schedule anything. But today is a special day. Even if they didn't say anything, they all knew they were going to meet for it.
今日、ユウは？ユウとなら、学校のお友達と図書館へ行ったわ。うわ、せっかくの休みに図書館とか。末恐ろしいなあ、おい。ユウは将来、弁護士になるって張り切ってるから。ほへえ、弁護士？子供の夢にしちゃずいぶん。って、あ？
Oh, so that's it, Hinai almost says, but she stops herself. Both Hana and Hinai immediately understood the meaning of Tachibana Yuto's childlike dream, as well as the fact it might even come true. And Yuto definitely knows what day it is today, too. That's almost certainly why he went to the library with his friends, just like how the four girls gathered together. So, I wonder if he wants to be a lawyer because... Now, with Miyashiro, did he decide that he was still going to take the fall for the murders to save Serika? Because he put out that whole thing with, like, you know, his manifesto, essentially. So maybe he wants to be a lawyer so that he can defend Takeru, knowing that he's not the killer, and, like, get him out of prison. An indescribable sadness is threatening to build up between them. I'm guessing that's what happened. Like, and that's why he's not with them, is he's in jail. Or maybe he's, like, not in jail. Maybe he's being put on, like, psychiatric care or something. Maybe he's still in the hospital, and that was the... why, like, Uki was looking all sad at the elevator. She was in the psychiatric ward, so maybe Takeru is kept there. And, indefinitely. It's Aramore's loud voice that breaks the silence. I hope we get to know, like, what happened to him after.
のんびりしてるとどの店も満席になっちまいますぜ。そうね。どこで食べる？超お腹空いてるので、いつものカフェでいいと思います。どう？みんな。うん、それでいい。
And Hana's talking. That too.
私もそこで。うん。じゃあそうしましょうか。はーい。では、お姉さんについてきてください。
Well, at least the girls made it out relatively unscathed. They all seem to be pretty good, all things considering. Also, what's happening with, I'm guessing they're probably still in that little apartment, aren't they? It's tough to say because, like, all the different routes, like, each girl's route had different endings and stuff, so I'm assuming that the one with Senri, that's kind of like the canon ending because she's Senri now, not No-No. And obviously with Sakuma dead, they had to, like, leave the clinic, so they're probably in that apartment all living together. Hinai raises one hand up like a tour guide, wraps the other around Hana's. The two of them have been hanging out together a lot recently, and then plunges into the crowd. There are no Chaos Child Syndrome patients to be seen. 8 months before this, over 80% of the Chaos Child Syndrome patients in Shibuya all fell unconscious at once. They were all quickly split up and taken to nearby hospitals. The hospitals were overflowing with patients. It was almost like the earthquake 6 years ago. 7 years now. Even the patients who had escaped the initial wave quickly fell unconscious as well, and were also taken to hospital. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Several people were injured when they'd fallen, but none of them badly. And several days later, the patients began to wake up, almost all of them in a state of extreme panic. They couldn't believe what they had actually looked like. Senri, Hinai, and the others woke up at the same time and were all terribly confused. But they didn't panic like the others did. They quickly realized that he was involved and that he had done this for everyone's sake. And so all the patients returned to a more normal world, to a harsh reality.
南沢先輩、列から離れないでくださいよ。置いていっちゃいますよ。あ、うん。ごめんなさい。
Senri realized that, as she was reflecting on the past, she'd stopped walking. She quickly runs to catch up with the others. Naturally, Senri had no idea what had transpired during her coma, but right after she woke up, Takeru told her himself. Kunosato and Shinjo let her meet him in a special hospital room. He also told her about Serika's true nature and the truth behind the return of the New Gen madness. Wakui, the committee, and Chaos Child Syndrome too. He told her everything. And lastly, he told her the truth about Sakuma, the father she believed in. And there was something that she, Kurusu no, or rather Minasawa Senri, had to tell him too. Now that she didn't look like Kurusu no anymore, there was no way she could keep up the lie. She had trouble working up the courage before she went into Takuru's room. So she just woke up and she looks like a completely different person. So that's got to be double weird. Like, they all look like old people. And also, no looks completely different. She'd hesitated so many times and almost thought about not meeting him at all. But it had to be the other girls from her room that scolded her and urged her on. She'd been the last to wake up because of the wound in her chest, and by the time she did, Uki, Hinai, and Hana had already seen the real her, and everyone had forgiven her without saying a word. But when she'd hesitated about meeting Takuru, they all got quite upset with her. "Can't you trust him?" they asked her. "Is he the kind of guy to not forgive you?" And that had been enough for her to decide. After she told him everything, Takuru laughed gently.
バカだな。もっと早く話してくれればよかったのに。
Every time she remembered what he'd said back then, she felt like she would start to cry. Senri had given up the name and body of Kurusu no and went back to being her original self. She was forced into 6 months of physical therapy, not just because of the syndrome, but the stab wound as well. But at last, after all that, she was capable of going outside on her own. She then went back to Hekiho Academy, which was now just a normal private school, and started truly living the life of a normal student along with the others.
ああ、ごめんなさい。何？検査、どうでしたか？いつも通りね。でも、もう薬も処方されてないし、そろそろ治療もおしまいかしら。和樹の方は？うん。私もそうかも。
Katsuki looks up at the blue sky as she speaks. She'd been lying to everyone too, and just like Senri, she was reluctant to admit it, and Hinai scolded her as well. When she opened up to Takuru about her lie, he forgave her like it was nothing. Even after losing her power, Hana still didn't talk a lot, but she's trying her best. She believes she owes it to Takuru to do so.
その声、みんなにもっと聞かせてあげるといいよ。友達も増えるんじゃないかな。
I wonder if, like, the reason with with this whole thing, I want, like, all the other endings, because at the end it was, Serika would be like, "Did you have fun?" So I wonder if he lived all of these, like, alternate realities, all of these routes, and that's why he's not really surprised about all of these revelations, is like, I already know. Shibuya is filled with people enjoying their day off, and Senri and the others are all living the same lives that everyone else is, except for one person, the boy who used to be at their center. They only bring it up during a small silence after they finish eating lunch at the usual cafe. At first, no one wants to discuss it. But at about the same time, Senri gets tired of watching the ice melt in her iced tea. Hinai opens her mouth to speak.
見ましたか？
She points to the phone in her hand. It's displaying a tabloid site. The article is about Takuru. Miyashiro Takuru, the boy responsible for the serial killings in Shibuya, has been kept at AH Tokyo General Hospital to aid in research on the Chaos Child Syndrome. Okay, so that's what I figured. That's why Uki was looking kind of sad. She wanted to go visit him. And now that the research is mostly finished, he's finally being sent to a detention house for the real interrogations to begin. Even if he's a minor, in light of the effect his way less than minor crimes had on society, there's no chance he'll be getting out anytime soon. So the article says, completely in a sensational and exaggerated tone.
こういうのどこで調べるのかしらね、マスコミって。
Most of what the article says is right, and Shinjo told them the day Takuro will be transferred is today. They were able to say goodbye earlier. Shinjo had set it up.
本当に最後まであの子は。
Damn, that sucks. Like, I guess there's no other way it could have gone for him to... He had to be the fall guy. He has to be the martyr. for everyone else to have their normal lives. And for Serika, that's it, right? It's like he's making it up to her. It's like, hey, I'm sorry that I birthed you and made your life miserable. So I'm going to take the credit for the murder so that you can live a normal life. The final time they'd met, Takeru asked them a favor. It involved Onoe Serika. Stay away from her unless she comes to you. But if she does come to you, please forgive her and treat her like a normal friend. And never tell her about her past or mine. He insisted on these 3 things until the very end. Serika had never approached them. Kunasato told them she lives in Yokohama and is attending Hekiho Academy from there, but they haven't heard anything else. Wait, so she's going to Hekiho Academy, but she is not friends with them. Okay.
何してるのかしらね。さあ。
No one knows for sure if Uki's question is about Takeru, Serika, or maybe even both of them.
そろそろ行きましょうか。
When she stands up to leave, Senri realizes, oh, I think I understand now. Maybe she's asking about us. What are we going to do now? Senri then remembers that Takeru had a spot in the cafe where he always sat. She finds herself looking at it, and almost starts crying again. The 4 of them leave the cafe and slowly head for the station. They plan to split up and go home from there. None of them are looking at their phones, and yet their heads all hang far lower than normal, but no one among them notices. Just before the light turns green, Senri realizes they're completely buried in the people surrounding them. Her mouth opens on its own.
映画でも見ていきましょうか。
The other 3 look up in surprise. Their mouths fall open in shock. They seem to have been caught completely off guard.
このまま帰ってもまだ早いし。
She's right. The sun hasn't even begun to set yet. Hinai suddenly starts to tear at her hair.
ダメだ。今日はこんな空気にならないようにしようと思ってきたのに。
Her twin tails spin angrily.
そんなこと考えてたんだ。そうじゃなきゃ彼氏でもないあんたと手つないだりとかしないって。最近よくつないでくるくせに。知らん。誰だそれは。
はいはい。じゃあ付き合ってくれるのね、映画。
バチコイ。
Hinai claps her hands together, then spreads her arms as if to give Senri a big hug.
ウキはこの後予定ないでしょ。
でも。
Uki makes the same face she made at the hospital. Let's go back to the hospital after all. It's almost time, isn't it? That's what Uki seems to say. Senri knows Uki's worried about her, but that's when she smiles back silently.
ありがとう。でも行くならやっぱり映画にしましょうね。
Because she knows that if she does see Takeru again, she'll grab onto him and break down in tears. She doesn't think she has it in her to control herself, and she doesn't want to let her little brother see her like that. She's never going to let him worry about her again. And that's why.
できれば楽しい映画がいいな。タクルに手紙を書きたいの。みんなで楽しい映画を見たわよって。
私も書く。お手紙毎日書く。
毎日？これは負けていられないわね。
おお、ブラコン姉妹ですな。
Hinai tries to tease them, but they both look back at her and speak in unison. Senri mischievously, and Uki extremely seriously.
いけない？自慢の弟なの。
自慢の兄です。
She's like, damn, they got me. She's like, that's the thing is, if she teases like them like that, they just have to hit her back and be like, we're not taking the bait. Hinai staggers back in exaggerated astonishment, and Senri gives her a pat to move her along.
ほら早く置いていくわよ。
Senri goes to the front and starts walking. Oh, that's a nice shot. Until a moment ago, she's standing tall, ready to face whatever fate has in store for her. Uki goes after her, her footsteps steady and firm as well. The remaining two look at each other for a moment, and then they start laughing and run to catch up to the sisters.
ああ、待ってくださいよ、先輩。ウッキー。映画ならおすすめのあるんですけど。花のおすすめはいつもバカ映画すぎて話になんない。
Huh? That's strange. There should be data in here.
おい、勝手に触るなと何度も言ってるだろう。
The door opens and an angry woman comes inside. It's Kunosato-san.
すいません。
あいつらの結果ならいつも通りクリーンだ。今のところ再発の恐れはない。
I give a small sigh of relief when I hear that. Good. The treatment seems to be working well.
それで、いつまでの千里たちの検査って続くんですか？
お前、これから連れて行かれるときに人の心配なんて。まあいい。そういうやつだったな、お前は。
Kunosato-san sighs in resignation.
今あいつらに行っているのは染色体に異常が見られないかどうかの検査だけだ。まあ健康診断みたいなものだが、少なくとも老化の原因が完全に突き止められるまでは検査は続ける。今は週に1回だが、検査回数は徐々に減らしていく予定だ。
いつ頃から減らしていけるんです？
I don't know, Kunosato-san says. From the way she's talking, she isn't lying. She really doesn't know. My role in researching and curing Chaos Child Syndrome has mostly come to an end after I created the image. All that's left is for Kunosato-san and the scientists helping her to figure out the scientific cause. But they seem to be having a hard time figuring out what causes the artificial aging process. As for what they do know, there are structures called telomeres at the end of a chromosome which are related to the aging process. There are signs that Chaos Child Syndrome patients are artificially creating them inside their bodies. These false telomeres shorten at a greatly accelerated rate that drastically restricts the number of times a cell can divide. The hypothesis is the brain recognizes these artificial telomeres as real and initiates the aging process. But much of that's still in the realm of hypothesis, and Kunosato-san herself doesn't seem satisfied with the explanation. But whatever the underlying principle is, when I asked her what had happened, she shrugged and said this.
精神や肉体がこう勘違いしているせいじゃないか。妄想の世界で生きるということは新しい自分に生まれ変わることだとな。
そうか。精神的な勘違いだけじゃなく、肉体的にも勘違いをしたんだ。
The phenomenon where these mistakes or errors would occur along the chromosome has been known in the medical world for a long time. That's right, it's the same mechanism as cancer. In other words, former Chaos Child Syndrome patients are at a high risk of developing that disease. Sanri and the others will probably keep getting exams to look for those errors in their cells, all without knowing why. And according to Kunosato-san, she has no idea when those exams might end. They might go on forever.
実はお前に関して興味深いことがあるんだが。
Kunosato-san stares at me as if trying to peer into the bottom of my soul.
これから先、かなり長い間、お前はインターネットにアクセスできなくなる。
Fate worse than death.
生まれて初めてのことじゃない。
He's like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Wait. He's like, wait, take it back. I don't want to go down for the murders. Yeah, come to think of it, she's right. The internet already existed when I was born, and by the time I hit puberty, it was everywhere.
情報強者を辞任していたお前が、その最大の手段を失い、情報の規制を受ける。場合によっては、情報から遮断されるかもしれない。そういう生活が当然となったとき、お前の思考回路は それまでとどう変化するんだろうな。
A while ago, I might have panicked just thinking about it, but strangely, I don't feel like I will right now.
激しい情報の波にさらされていたお前と、波の全くない静かな海に漂うお前。精神的にどう変化するか楽しみだよ。
前に約束しましたから実験台にしていいですよ。
ああ、そうだったな。
伊藤のやつは症候群だけでなく、
Oh yeah, Itzo, forgot
脳の
about
方
him.
も随分回復してきたそうですね。助かりました。
助かったのは医学的な面だ。法的なことは知らんぞ。
Shinjo-san told me Itzo will be prosecuted, but in the end, he will probably be given treatment at a medical facility for minors. I don't know how long it will take, but I'm relieved to know he'll eventually go free. Remembering Yui makes my heart ache, but what happened to her isn't his fault.
久野里さんはこれからどうするつもりです？
I remember something I want to ask before I leave this place. Kunosato-san's eyebrows rise in surprise.
委員会への復習を続けるつもりですか？
当然だ。涌井が言った通り、私は踊り続けるさ。
And then, I see a little smile from around her mouth.
そうか。なるほど。もしかしたらお前とは長い付き合いになるかもしれんな。涌井はお前のことを観測し続ける。そう言ったんだろ。
ええ。
この先お前が自分に降りかかってくる状況に絶望し、あるいは恐怖し、再びギガロマニアックスとしての力を取り返してしまうか否か。それが奴とのゲームというわけだ。
ええ。
だったらお前は生かされ続ける。私もお前の観測を続けよう。奴の尻尾をつかむためにな。
いいか？
There's a knock at the door, and I hear a voice I know well. Shinjo-san comes in with a serious look on his face. I'm so happy Shinjo never turned. I'm so happy that he was never like a bad guy. I was waiting for it. I'm like, I don't know why I clung to him. He's one of my favorite minor characters in this. I think I've just been betrayed so many times by like the well-meaning detective cop in these types of stories that the fact that he was just like a good guy throughout the whole thing, I'm like, yes, thankfully. He's looking at me, seemingly uncertain as what to say. I wait, motionless, until finally he sighs. You know what? It's not over yet. I should wait until the very, very, very end of the story before I say that. Like, what if right at the last moment he's like, haha, I was working with the committee the whole time. Shinjo-san says the words.
時間だ。
はい。
I slowly stand up from the chair. Shinjo-san knows the truth but still accepted my decision. I can be nothing but grateful for that. I know how hard that had to be for a detective.
今までありがとうございました。苦労かけました。
I bow deeply.
いや、君に比べたらどうということはないさ。
He puts his hand on my shoulder. It's big and strong. If I had an older brother, would he have been like this?
俺の方こそありがとう。
There's another detective on the other side of the door, ready to take me to the transport. The rest of the world still doesn't really know what I look like now that I've recovered from Chaos Child Syndrome. It's Shinjo-san who convinced the others I'd stand out less if they didn't put handcuffs on me and try to hide my face. Thanks to that, I'll be able to walk outside as a normal high school kid one last time. I bow one last time to Shinjo-san, and then turn to Kunosato-san.
みんなのことよろしく頼みます。
ああ。またな。
Kunosato-san nods weakly, and I nod back. And then I head for the exit.
ああ。宮代。
I stop and turn back around.
危うく聞き忘れるところだった。取り立てて重要なことではないんだが。
ん？
彼女の名前と年齢だ。なぜ 彼女は尾上セリカだったんだ。年齢に意味はあったのか。
Good question. That's actually something I also thought about for a long time, ever since we parted ways. It was the first step of a very big mistake. But when I finally found the answer, I bursted out laughing.
名前は僕の両親の名前をローマ字書きしたアナグラムでした。
Oh, that's it? Okay. She's like, I'm a little disappointed by that answer, to be honest. Miyashiro Senio, Miyashiro Eriko.
本当の親に求めるようなことを僕は彼女に求めていたんでしょうね。
Okay.
だからそんな名前にしたんだと思います。
でも、親の役割を彼女に求めたのなら、年上に設定するはずだろ。
But that was also from his desire to have somebody look up to him, right?
そんな風に親を求めている自分を認めたくなかったんです。だから彼女は年上ではいけなかった。僕が守るべき年下の女の子でなければいけなかった。子供ながらにつまらないプライドですね。今考えると本当に愚かでした。
そうか。
For a second, I thought I caught a glimpse of gentleness in her expression.
でも、お前はちゃんと彼女を守った。今はもう愚かじゃないさ。
I smile back at her and turn away. I take longer steps than usual so my resolve won't waver. And then I step out the door. It's been forever since I've actually been outside. The weather is beautiful. I'm so used to the darkness that the strong sunlight stings my eyes. The wind is a little cold, but it feels good. It swirls past me almost as if it's purifying my whole body. I was initially surprised not to see any reporters or onlookers around. But I later learned that Kei-san, aka Kunosato-san, had given the media and internet false information to keep them away. I walk for a while until I see a black car stopped on the side of the road. It's probably the transport. I feel a sense of déjà vu and stop to look around. And then I remember. This is the corner of A.H. Tokyo General Hospital. 6 years ago during the earthquake, it was an evacuation shelter. The detective sees I've stopped and asks me what's wrong. But there are too many feelings inside me to explain. That's right. This is where I created her. I stand there frozen in silent shock, nearby in the bright sunlight, standing only a few seconds away if I were to run. Oh shit! And that's one of her friends, was her, and like, what's she doing here? Was her. The girl I thought for sure I would never meet again. She's looking at me as if uncertain whether to smile, be angry, or cry. There's a girl next to her I don't know, about the same age. Why? I can't look away. I can't move. We're so close, but we're staring at each other from a distance that can never be crossed. Did she get tipped off that, like, this was going to be happening? Maybe Kunosato let her know? The detectives tell me to start walking, but I can't respond to him. I suddenly realize my fists are clenched.
Serika? 何?
Because I'm like, I doubt that, you know, these girls would just be hanging outside a hospital just on the off chance. You know, like just by coincidence. I hear a pretty voice. The soft wind seems to be carrying it to me.
どうしたのいきなり。誰あれ、知ってる人?
I don't know what feelings are being exchanged between us, but I can see tears forming in her eyes.
知らない人。
And the tears fall without a sound. She's smiling. The girl next to her must be her best friend. She wipes away her tears and smiles so her friend won't see them. Maybe Serika's just like, hey, I just want to show you that, like, I'm okay. I'm living my life. I got friends. She then turns around and starts walking away from me. Time starts to move again, and a smile forms on my face as well.
僕も君なんて知らない。
The sunlight continues to sting at my eyes as I look up at the crystal clear blue sky. The reason I'm looking up is so the tears in my eyes won't fall to the ground. I'm crying tears of joy. That's what I believe. That's what I have to believe. All of this is for the best.
すいません。行きましょう。
I say that to the detective and then I start to walk. I don't look at her as she gets further away. We will never meet again. Our paths will never cross again. And that is how we will live our lives together. Damn, that's a epitome of a bittersweet ending. I was like, some people got their happy lives, but there's still some sadness that they lost. You know, like Miyashiro, and then the fact that he had to basically give up the rest of his life for everyone else to live their lives, including Serika. And there we go. The final ending. Alright everybody, that is going to do it for my playthrough of Chaos Child. So what were my overall thoughts, especially compared to Chaos Head? I liked this better overall. I liked the characters. First of all, the cast of characters, especially the protagonist. And I know that was the point of Chaos Head, was to have an unlikable protagonist. And they definitely accomplished that. And he did come into his own in the end. He redeemed himself somewhat, but I think having a character who had a group of friends to bounce off of was just much more of an enjoyable experience, and rather than somebody who is in his head and is very isolated. And I don't know, I guess I just like the mystery of this more. I think the reveal of Serika was very hard-hitting because I really liked her, and I do like her still. And overall, the ending, I liked that it was kind of melancholy, it was bittersweet. Not everybody got their happy ending. Not everybody could be together in the end, but I think that makes it more realistic. It is unfortunate that Takeru did have to basically take the fall for all the crimes for Serika to have her normal life. I guess that was his way of atoning for her. Like, he created her, he made her the way she is, and he just wanted her to live as a normal girl. And at least, you know, our cast of characters, our girls, they get to live a life together as friends, cured of the Chaos Child syndrome. So yeah, I just liked it. I liked the mystery and how it built off the first game, but I feel like it did it better. So overall, really enjoyed it. I really like this one. So that brings us to now, what game am I going to be playing next? Well, the winner of my poll by a very slim margin, literally 1% margin over the runner-up game, is Full Metal Demon Muramasa. And I know nothing about this game except that it is very mature, and it is one that will, unfortunately, I will not be able to put everything on YouTube, so this is going to be one of those games where I'm going to have to censor it. You'll get the full experience on Patreon, but people seem hyped for this game. I had people in the comments saying, like, they've been wanting me to play this for years, and they're so happy that I'm going to be playing it, so I hope you guys are excited for my new Let's Play series. So that is going to be taking the place of this one. So that will be starting next Monday on YouTube and Sundays on Patreon. So anyway, guys, thank you if you made it through to the end of Chaos Child. Thank you so much, and I'd like to get your thoughts overall. How did you like this game? Either, you know, if you played it yourself or you watched it, especially in comparison to Chaos Head. Like, which one did you like more? So let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you're looking forward to my next Let's Play, Full Metal Demon Muramasa, next week. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Revealing Storm, Linz VA, Kenju Storm, Icognito, Kevlar, and Jesse Pelletier Lemire.